Savannah Chrisley shaken as Todd's prison future uncertain. Chrisley knows best alum. Savannah Chrisley is shaken up as her father. Todd Chrisley's prison future is up in the air. She has discussed how she wants to find a way to free both of her parents after being incarcerated for 2 years. Yet things are going a different way for Todd, and now she has no idea what is next. Keep reading for more details. Savannah Chrisley shaken as Todd's future uncertain. Since Todd and Julie Chrisley were handed their sentences, their daughter, Savannah Chrisley, went on a mission. She was determined to free them at any cost and has made it very clear from the get-go. Todd is currently in Pensacola serving 12 years, while Julie is in Kentucky serving 7 years. She had a resentencing which did not go the way that she had hoped. The judge extended her probation by 2 years, which shocked Savannah to her core. Fans have asked if she will take their cases to the current president, and she already has a plan in place. That being said, things have changed regarding her father, Todd. Savannah opened up about this alteration on her podcast, Unlocked. There she shares every detail about prison, her parents, her struggles, and more. According to the Daily Mail, Todd is going to be moved from Pensacola to an alternate prison. That is because it is shutting down, which Savannah has mixed emotions about. Previously, she has discussed how atrocious Pensacola was and how her father was treated like dirt while serving his 12-year sentence. So in that sense, this is a good thing. However, Savannah is struggling with the unknown of where Todd will land. There has been talk that he may end up in New York, which would be a disaster given Savannah Chrisley and her family are based in Nashville. Why so far? Allegedly, Todd Chrisley would go to New York out of retaliation, per Savannah Chrisley. She explained that a woman who works at Pensacola dislikes her dad so much, she has threatened to send him to New York. This way, it will be extremely difficult for his family to see him. Of course, Savannah is keeping the faith that does not happen. She also noted that there is a policy in place that says inmates are required to be within 500 miles of your home. After seeing this news, what do fans and followers have to say about the situation? Were they hopeful for Todd, or had they had enough of it all? I just can't with these entitled people. Just let this guy service his entire sentence. He is not getting pardoned or out early. His real Botoxless face looks like Mike Myers' mask. Others noted that Savannah was mistaken with the 500-mile rule. They say they try to move prisoners to other facilities within 500 miles of home, but that is not a guarantee. Savannah Chrisley sat frozen in her Nashville home, staring blankly at the stack of legal documents on the table before her. The soft glow of the evening sun filtered through the sheer curtains, casting a golden hue over the living room, but she hardly noticed. Her mind was elsewhere, locked in an endless cycle of worry, fear, and uncertainty over her father, Todd Chrisley. For months, Savannah had maintained a brave face, speaking publicly about her family's struggles and shouldering the responsibility of caring for her younger siblings. She had fought tooth and nail to keep the Chrisley name from being drowned in scandal. But now, as new rumors swirled about Todd's prison sentence, the weight of it all felt unbearable. A phone call from their family attorney earlier that afternoon had left her shaken. There was talk that Todd's legal team was hitting roadblocks in their efforts to appeal his sentence. A previously hopeful path to an early release was now clouded by setbacks, leaving his future hanging in the balance. "Savannah, honey, are you okay?" Nanny Faye's voice jolted her from her thoughts. The matriarch of the family stood in the doorway, her wise eyes scanning her granddaughter with concern. Though Savannah had always admired her grandmother's resilience, she could see the worry written all over her face. Savannah forced a weak smile. "Just processing, Nanny. It's been a long day." Nanny Faye walked over and sat beside her, placing a reassuring hand over Savannah's. "We've been through storms before, sugar. The Lord ain't brought us this far to leave us now." Savannah exhaled slowly, her shoulders slumping. "I know, but I feel like every time I start to believe things are getting better, something happens. First, we were hopeful about Dad's appeal, and now they're saying it could take years. Or worse, it might not even work. I don't know what to do." "You keep fighting," Nanny Faye said firmly. "That's what you do. You're your daddy's girl, and you know Todd ain't gonna sit in there and just accept things. If there's a way, he'll find it. And if he can't, then we will." Savannah nodded, wiping away a stray tear before it could fall. She had always been her father's biggest cheerleader, and she knew Todd drew strength from knowing she was out here, holding everything together. But sometimes she just wished she could be the daughter instead of the one holding the weight of the world on her shoulders. Later that evening, Savannah found herself scrolling through social media, scanning news updates and public opinions on her father's situation. She had tried to stay away from reading the comments, but the temptation was always there. Some people were supportive, sending prayers and well wishes. Others were cruel, mocking Todd's predicament and celebrating his downfall. Her stomach twisted as she read one particularly harsh comment. "He deserves to rot in there. Rich people always think they're above the law." She clenched her jaw, resisting the urge to respond. It wasn't worth it. People didn't know her father like she did. They didn't see the man who had spent his life providing for his family, who had protected them fiercely, who had made them laugh even in their darkest moments. Yes, he had made mistakes. But didn't everyone? Her phone buzzed, pulling her from the toxic spiral of online commentary. It was an unknown number, but something told her to answer. "Hello. Miss Chrisley. This is Wharton Calloway from FPC Pensacola. I wanted to give you an update on your father's status." Savannah's heart pounded. "Is he okay? Has something happened?" The warden hesitated before answering. "Your father is fine, but there have been complications. Due to ongoing issues with overcrowding and the pending appeal, there's a possibility that his housing situation may change." "Change? What do you mean?" Savannah pressed. "It's possible that your father may be transferred to a different facility, one with higher security. We're trying to avoid that, but it's not entirely in our hands. I wanted to give you a heads up before you heard it from someone else." Savannah felt like the wind had been knocked out of her. The idea of her father, who was already struggling behind bars, being moved to a harsher environment was more than she could bear. "Is there anything I can do? Any way to stop this?" "At this point, we're exploring all options," the warden replied. "I suggest keeping close contact with his legal team. They may be able to intervene." "Thank you for letting me know," Savannah said numbly before ending the call. She sat still for a moment, staring at the phone in her hands. The walls felt like they were closing in. It wasn't enough that her father had to be in prison. Now there was a risk of things getting even worse. Her thoughts raced as she considered her next move. She couldn't just sit back and let this happen. If there was even a small chance she could prevent Todd from being moved, she had to try. She grabbed her laptop and immediately began typing an email to their lawyer, outlining everything the warden had just told her. Then she started drafting a public statement, preparing for the inevitable media frenzy that would ensue if news of Todd's potential transfer leaked. She had learned the hard way that it was always better to get ahead of the headlines rather than scramble to control the damage after the fact. By the time she finished, exhaustion weighed heavy on her, but sleep was the last thing on her mind. She had a long road ahead, but one thing was certain: she wasn't going to let her father fight this battle alone. Savannah Chrisley had never backed down from a challenge before, and she wasn't about to start now.